Hello. So today I'm going to talk about slab pull and continental breakup, and more specifically, lower plate continental breakup. So lower plate continental breakup is a conceptual model that has been proposed by Stampfli in 2002. And as you can see on this cartoon, he proposed that after the subduction of the Paleotethys mid-oceanic ridges below Eurasia, the slab pull of the Paleotethys is transmitted towards the Gondwana margin here and generates the breakup, then the rifting, then the breakup of the Gondwana margin. So in order to see if slab pull can indeed generate continental breakup and see what are the conditions for this to happen, I built a numerical model. So I'm also using PITAT, which use finite element method and marker inside method, and which is implemented for viscoplastic rheology. And there is a 3D version, but my simulation for now it's on 2D. So because of the density of the slab is the main parameter of the slab pool, it was very important for my model to predict the density of rock as accurate as possible. So for this, I use the software Perplex in order to predict the density of rock function of pressure, temperature, and also metamorphic reaction. So here you have an example of density prediction for mantle rock, and you can see that there are some density jump associated with mantle phase transition. And on the bottom of the slide, you see the initial condition of my model. So it corresponds to the subduction initiation after the mid-oceanic ridge subduction. So you have two tectonic plates. The upper plate is continental, and the continental crust is shown in green, and the lower plate is a mixed with an oceanic domain that is shown in blue and a continental margin. And below the plate, you have the white line that represents the boundary between the lithosphere and the asthenosphere. And all the orange to brown color are the mantle rock plotted by their density. And again, you can see the density jump associated with the mantle phase transition. In order to facilitate the initiation of the subduction, I set a weak zone between the two tectonic plates, and I also impose a velocity, a convergence velocity, either to the upper plate or to the lower plate. So here we go for the result. On this slide, you have three graphs showing you the evolution through time of the slab pull force, the horizontal force, and the horizontal velocity recorded within the continental margin. So here you have three screenshots of my simulation. The color code are the same that I showed you just before, except that I added also a gray overlay in order to show you where the rocks deform. And what we can see is that during the initiation of the subduction, the slab pull is low, and the stress regime recorded within the continental margin is either compressional or slightly tensional, and the rift velocity is 0. But when the slab tips reach the mantle phase transition, the slab pull force increase, and the continental margin of the lower plate begin to deform, and the velocity of the rift is now not 0. And then the deformation localize, and the rift velocity speed up, and you can see the continental breakup. So to the first question, is the slab pull force sufficient to generate continental breakup within the lower plate? The answer is yes. The density jump associated with the mantle phase transition generate a sharp increase in slab pull force, which can lead to continental breakup. And now, is there some condition and additional condition for lower plate continental breakup to happen? So in this slide, you have the first parameter that I wanted to study was the boundary condition. So here you have two simulations. The first one is the one that I showed you just before, where the velocity, the convergence velocity is applying to the upper plate. And in this case, we see lower plate continental breakup. In the second simulation, I apply the convergence velocity to the lower plate. And in this case, we do not observe a lower plate continental breakup. So this diagram is for showing you a synthetic view of my parametric study, where the y-axis represents the lower plate velocity and the x-axis represents the total amount of convergence within my system. And yellow dot represent a simulation where we do not observe lower plate continental breakup, and red simulation where we observe continental breakup. And what you can see is that lower plate breakup is mostly dependent on the velocity of the lower plate compared to the underlying asthenospheric mantle. So I made this cartoon for explain it a little more. So the first line corresponds to the simulation where the convergence velocity is applied to the upper plate. So in this case, there is no velocity gradient between the lower plate and the asthenospheric mantle below it. And so when the slab tips reach the mantle phase transition, we observe a necking that grows and finally a continental breakup. In the case where the simulation, the velocity, the convergence velocity is applied to the lower plate, the lower plate is moving comparing to the mantle below it, so it generates a basal shear between the two, and the basal shear do not prevent any necking, but it does prevent necking growing, so continental breakup. Another parameter that I wanted to study is the strength of the oceanic domain comparing to the continental domain of my lower plate. To vary the strength, I vary the oceanic edge of the lithosphere and the surface heat flow of the continental margin of the lower plate. And in this case, you can see that if the oceanic domain is stronger than the continental domain of the lower plate, the breakup will localize within the continental domain, whereas if the oceanic domain is weaker than the continental domain of the lower plate, the breakup will localize within the ocean. So there is some condition for lower plate continental breakup to happen. First, the lower plate has to move at the same velocity than the asthenospheric mantle below it in order to prevent any basal shear. And secondly, the oceanic domain of the lower plate must be stronger than the continental domain. And now I wanted to show you how I use the prediction from my simulation to study vanished ocean. So the first case that I wanted, geological case that I wanted to show you is the formation of the Cimmerian block. So the Cimmerian block are continental blocks that form within the Gondwana margin during the subduction of the Paleotethys ocean beneath Eurasia during the Permian. And there is a debate about the age of the Paleotethys mid-oceanic ridges subduction. So some people are saying it's happened 80 million years ago, before the Gondwana breakup, and other people say that it happened just before or immediately or during a Gondwana breakup. And as I show you, in my simulation, what I can see is that there is a minimum time lag between the mid-oceanic ridges subduction and the continental breakup of the lower plate, because the slab tips has to reach the mantle thrust transition.
You aura 10 minutes.
Okay. And another well-known case of lower plate continental breakup is the opening of the South China Sea during Oligocene. In this case, the South China Sea opening within the China margin during the subduction of the Proto-South China Sea beneath Borneo. And again, whereas the South China Sea opening is well constrained, we do not have a lot of information about the history of the Proto-South China Sea. And there is so people are wondering about the age of the spreading within the Proto-South China Sea, and there is two hypotheses. So first, the Proto-South China Sea is a Mesozoic ocean, and secondly, the Proto-South China Sea is a Cenozoic ocean. And what my simulation show is that in order to localize the breakup within the continental margin, the oceanic domain must be stronger than the continental domain of the lower plate, which means that it is more likely for the Proto-South China Sea to be Mesozoic. So to conclude, yes, the slab pool can generate continental breakup within the lower plate under some condition. And we can use the model prediction in order to learn about the story of vanished ocean. And just to finish, here I wanted to show you some zoom on my rift area. So you can see the wide rift stage, following by the necking stage, the mantle breakup, the onset of the oceanic spreading, and finally the crustal breakup. And what we plan now is to use the rift velocity extracted from my simulation in order to build a smaller model with a higher resolution, focusing on the rift in order to study the rift formation of the South China Sea. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tiffen. So if you have questions, you can raise your hand, use the chat. And meanwhile, I can begin with, more or less, I have the same question as for Ritske. Did you do some tests yourself also, trying to vary the velocity of your convergence?
Yes. So I try a lot of different velocity convergence. You can see it here.
Yeah, but did you try to, for example, to have some pauses and to have some phases at 2 centimeters, phases at 3 centimeters within the same model, I mean?
Yes, I try having a velocity decreasing until 0. And it depends. If it will lead to continental breakup within the lower plate, but it can also lead to continental breakup within the upper plate in this case.
Interesting. Okay. So it does have an impact. Okay. So I will let the others ask questions also. Thanks, Stephen. Sasha, you were the first.
Yeah, thanks very much, Tiffaine, for this very nice talk. It's a very interesting setup with nice implications. I have one short question. What controls the size of the terrain that you generate by rifting the lower plate?
I don't know. I do not put any seed for localize the breakup. I know that, for example, in this model, I considered that the side of this box is China crater, and if I set a bigger box, the breakup will localize a bit more far from the ocean continent transition, but it will stop at I think 1,000 kilometers from the margin.
Would be interesting to find out why and how this relates to real world. Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ritske?
Yeah, I mean, nice set of models. Agree. Just a naive question: is there any geological evidence that the breakup and extension was in the Mesozoic and not in the Cainozoic?
For the South China Sea?
Yeah.
No. We know about the age of the rifting and breakup of the South China Sea, and it's clearly Cenozoic. I was talking about the age of the ophiolite of the Proto-South China Sea.
Okay, in that case, I was confused. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
But we know that South China Sea formation is Cenozoic.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. We can deal with that after. I have a last question for the non-modelers, just to get an idea. How much time does these models take to run?
It depends of the number of CPU you use. So at the beginning, during my test stage, it was more than 3 weeks, but actually now it's like 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
But it's because it's 2D.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but that's interesting for us to compare also with what Ritske mentioned about his 150 hours. So that's always good to remind that when you present models and so on. So yeah.
Okay.